Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. You know how it rocks. Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals are fully under swing. Barron, Burns, how are you doing on this fine day?
Good, how are you?
Can't complain myself. I did some yoga today.
Oh, okay.
The first time I've ever done yoga. And I decided to do it because I was like, my limbs, you get older, you really think about it. I know I'm only 21, so I'm in my prime, but I was like, gotta do it when you're healthy now before when you start getting unhealthy.
Okay.
So did some
Wise
yoga
words.
today for the first time. Really, really, I'm in like a stretchy vibe right now. So
Okay.
yeah, really to stretch some sentences and some arms and some reach today because I am fully ready to go.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm guessing it's the opposite for you. You just sat in bed today.
No, I had some stuff going on earlier, but
There
I
you
was up
go.
early, so I had a little nap.
Clean it up, son. There you go.
hmm
So, first of all, I wanted to bring some breaking news. So not breaking, but just very early news today that kind of relates to our main topics on this.
Mm,
College football 25, now 26, released the cover. And first of all, we got Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith on the front of the regular edition.
hmm
And then the deluxe has God,
Everyone.
like 100 people on the front. First of all,
Players, mascots,
let coaches, Kirby Smart on
coaches,
there, Dan Lanning. First of all, let's
band
start with
band members.
yeah, people are talking about that. Let's start with the original, just the regular edition cover. Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith. Is it heat or not?
Mm, I get what they're going for because those are the two probably most electrifying players in college football for the upcoming season. But I kind of like how it was like especially last year, how it was I guess not not rising sophomores. So it was like people that were leaving because we
Mm-hmm.
saw Quinn Ewers, Travis Hunter, they both went to the NFL. I forget, did the guy from
Donovan
Michigan?
Edwards went
Yeah,
undrafted and got signed by the Chargers as a
yeah, yeah, that
UDFA.
was it. That was it. But I kind of liked how it was players that we were expected were leaving, kind of like their last huzzah. But yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal. Honestly, I get what they're going for and can't really hate it.
I mean, I'm okay with that cover. The deluxe edition, I absolutely hate. I hate that cover so much.
I don't know.
It's just way
I
too
like it.
crowded. I don't like it. Way too crowded, way too many people, not enough cohesion in it. I miss the days of the cover like Madden 10, where it's Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu with all the colors around them. Peyton Hillis, Drew Brees, clean, had some design behind it. Pretty easy to make, in my opinion. I mean, now the covers are just photo shoots, right? I mean, remember the days of Madden 22 when the cover was just Brady and Mahomes sitting on a bench?
That was the cover.
I mean,
That was the photo shoot.
yeah, that was genuinely the worst cover I've ever seen in my life. Like one of the worst
Oh,
covers at all. Now it's just photo shoots. Is it
yeah. I
photo shoots
think this.
fine? Yes, but it's just
I
not
like
like a
this.
cool cover.
I like them.
I don't like them.
I
You
mean, the
like the
Christian
Brady? Wait, you
Christian
like
Mc.
the Brady Mahomes just sitting on a bench?
You didn't. So like for the Christian McCaffrey one for Madden 25, you didn't like that.
Yeah, it was okay.
I think you have to have a good blend. Like I don't think Brady and Mahomes just outright on a bench is the best they could have
That
done.
was horrible. Come on,
But
that was horrible.
I like the blend that you can have with it. And I actually really like the deluxe cover. Because college football, it's all about I mean, there's so many schools, right? So many people that are involved in each organization. So yeah, I think for the sake of college football, because it's how big it is, yeah, I think you try and fit as many people, players, coaches, mascots, band members, staff members you can on the cover. I think that's what gets people to kind of like be like, oh, look, there's my team on the cover. That gets them kind of happy, kind of excited. Like when I was looking at it, I thought it was cool. On the I'll say this since I go to Clemson, on the normal cover, you can see the orange and purple like right there front and center. Not every school can say that. We've got our starting quarterback, our mascot,
And
and a
that's good.
band member on the front cover. Not every school can
Yeah.
say that. So I think it's cool. I think it makes it feel more, I guess, personalized to each person, regardless of who they cheer for, where they go to school. But yeah, I like the multiple people on there. Put as many as you can fit, as long as it's not too many. Like I really liked the one last year. I think it was the loading screen for 25, where you see like all the players walking out of the tunnel, but all you see is
Yeah.
like their last names. I thought that was really cool too. So yeah, let's get more people involved. Let Madden take some notes, but I get why they do like one or two.
Yeah, Madden covers used to be really cool, but I don't really mess with the covers that much now, to be honest.
Well,
So
while we're on the topic, Brooks, who's your prediction for the Madden 26 cover?
that's a good shout. I really don't know. I mean, they're pretty random, to be honest. I really don't know who could be the cover of it. I think like I think Saquon would be a cool cover for
Yeah,
it.
that's my well, that would be my prediction. And
But I
for the
think they should go.
first time, not as an Eagles fan, but he
I
he
think
was
they should
all in
go with
the.
a
Oh, sorry.
defensive player though. I think defensive covers are really cool.
When's
Like
the
when
last time it was? Yeah.
Sherman
When
was
was
last
that
time
though?
maybe.
Was that
Man, that was Man 15.
yeah. So
Because 16 was Odell, 17 was Gronk, 18 was Brady, 19 Antonio Brown, 20 was Mahomes, 21 Lamar, 22 was the bench. I know Josh Allen, McCaffrey. I don't think they've had a defensive player on it for a while. So,
you just have to think of a defensive player that had such a great historical season. I just can't think of one from last season. Honestly, when you think about it, it probably is going to be Saquon Barkley because he was all in the headlines about the team switch prior and in the season for what he was doing on the field. We have the reverse hurdle, which they programmed a whole new animation in for the
oh
game.
yeah, they're
So.
gonna do that, dude. It's
So
cooked.
like
It's
yeah,
cooked.
so that's definitely going to be it. And then you have the 2000 plus yards rushing and won the Super Bowl. Like there's too many things. And again, they probably had to pay their entire animator team for a whole other year just to code in the reverse hurdle. So it's probably going to be him. The only thing I can see is he says no. Um, I think they might try and stick with running back though. Um, Unless they really, I don't know. I could see Jamar Chase being that cover. He did get the triple
Yeah.
crown. Like they always try to do it for a player that gets some sort of achievement that year. So just thinking about offensive players that got achievements, it's gonna be either Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase. I, I honestly, they could do just an Eagles cover with him and Jalen Hurts because that's the Super Bowl MVP too. They like to throw that guy on there as well every now and then. So, and if you want to throw in a defensive shout, Derek Stingley or Pat Surtain, both of those guys, I think I could see being on it as a defensive side.
I don't. I doubt they're gonna do defense though.
I
So
do as well.
I'm just gonna push off it.
Yeah,
So,
that's my top
um,
three.
but more that we get into, the covers of what we mainly talk about the NFL. Let's go back to what the big boys are doing right now in the National Basketball Association. Today, when we're recording this, it is Knicks Pacers game 4 in Indiana. I think we should start with what happened yesterday, though, before we get into what we think will happen today
Well,
and throughout the series. I think we should do
before we
that first.
before we do that,
Mm.
um, I think we should address the fact both of us predicted either Knicks in five or Knicks in six. So
Knicks and 6, baby.
we both look
Knicks and
like
6. Knicks and
idiots.
6.
All
No,
right,
Knicks and
all
6 are
right,
still
pal.
possible.
All right, pal.
Hey.
It's
Remember when the Raptors won the NBA Finals? They went down 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals and they won 4 straight.
yeah, it's true, but they're
Just
not
saying.
playing. They're not playing. They're playing a different team.
So
The Knicks are playing a
everyone's a
Knicks are
different
playing a
team. I'm
different
just
team.
saying.
So,
It's
um,
not out of the question. Is it very hard to do? Yeah, it's not out of the question though. So Knicks and 6 is still a possibility.
so I think it's fair to say we both
And
did not
and
put a lot of faith in the Pacers that we
that is true.
probably should have.
And but here's what's gonna help me more. Mr. Halliburton's back in town, baby. Mr. Halliburton's back in town. And the Pacers have been playing really well without him. So maybe that puts some bad mojo on the team now.
All right, I promise you, if they play like terrible the game he comes back, they're gonna ban him again.
Yeah, they're gonna ban him immediately. Oh yeah, you're the problem. So
Yeah, they're gonna just ban him again, so that probably won't work. But yeah, let's
let's
talk
just
about game
let's just
three.
let's just root here and stick to game 3. Yeah. Carl Anthony Towns,
Coming out of
man.
halftime. Well, let's talk about the game. Coming out of halftime, didn't look good for Knicks fans. Looks like you were about to be down 3-0. But like you said, Carl Anthony Towns led the charge and they completed the 20-point comeback. And it's a little scary there at the end. Tight game up until probably the last minute where the Knicks kind of really pulled away and the Pacers were playing catch up. But Yeah. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, like you said, he came alive in the fourth quarter. What he finished the game with 26 points, I think, with 20 points coming in the fourth quarter. So definitely stepped up big time. With a guy like Jalen Brunson, who was in foul trouble in the fourth quarter. If I think that was right. Yeah, I think of a different game.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, he had 5 fouls. Yeah, so he was in foul trouble late in the fourth quarter. Couldn't be on the court all the time, and I mean, I was watching. You might be shocked, but I was watching a good amount of that game, and I was watching the end of that fourth quarter, and watching as Halliburton would score, Pascal Siakam would score, Aaron Nesmith would score, and it would just be Cat would answer right back. So yeah, it was a good rally by
It
them.
was more. It was more than just Cat answering back. I mean, that man was stepping into long distance threes, banging them, going down Logan and ones. I mean, he was playing out of his mind in that fourth quarter. He had 20 points in the fourth, only fourth about the first three. It was an explosion. I mean, let's keep it honest, okay? Let's keep it honest. Before that, a lot of people were questioning social media and Knicks fans were questioning why the heck did Cat even go to New York if he's going to do what he's doing now and stink it up in these conference finals. I'm just saying, this is not my words, other people's. And now he steps up and he does what to do to bring this series back 2-1. Without him, this is 3-0. Knicks are in the dirt. They have to do something that no one else has done before. So I think now they have a chance. The momentum's their way. That he's hot, and I think they're just going to keep feeding him.
Yeah, we'll see. Don't know if we'll see again. Um, that he had a good fourth quarter. I wouldn't necessarily say he had a good game. So we'll see how he plays game four. Jalen Brunson, not Miles, Mikal Bridges, all of those guys. But he had a good game, game three as well. Sneaky little, I forget his stat line, but it's pretty good. OG Anunoby had some good defensive plays. So yeah, I mean they played. I would say from the box score perspective, that looked like the best team game they played this series. And from what I saw, I didn't watch the whole game, but from what I saw, they looked pretty good. But I mean, that they have it's an uphill battle from here, right? They lost both their games at home, going down 2-0. They stole their first game on the road, but now you got to play in Indiana again, and um, and then if you win that, you get to go back to uh, Madison Square Garden, and it's back in your home court. So. This is a pivotal game four for them. Um, we'll get to predictions here in a minute, but I kind of wanted to point something out. One of my buddies pointed this out to me, and we were watching both kind of both kind of the whole series. But you know
Mm-hmm.
how each kind of team like puts out those like shirts that have like the similar saying and the
Yeah,
team
and
colors,
yep,
and all the
on
like put them on all the
yep, in the
seats and all
arena.
the fans put them on. Well, when you look at the Knicks games, none of the Knicks fans put them on. They just wear whatever they wore to the game. Usually, I mean, it's Knicks gear, but like you never really see them
No,
throw
I
those
mean,
shirts on, right? Hold on. You look at the Pacers game; it's like a sea of yellow. And they're all wearing the shirt. I mean, they seem like they're more into it.
was that
So I don't
actually where
know.
you went with it? Was that
I'm
it?
just
Was that
saying.
the
I'm just
point?
saying. I think it's interesting to point out which home crowds get
No,
more
this is
into it.
no, this is everyone knows this. Nobody in the Lakers put it on, but everyone in Oklahoma City puts it on. It just depends on the market you're in. Like New York
Exactly.
is going to be all the celebrities, all the
I
big
know.
names.
I know.
Indiana's a small market, so this doesn't really happen that much for them. And when it does, everyone floods and everyone is supportive of that one team. You
That's
think
what
of
I'm saying.
Indiana,
When because of those being in the smaller market and not having as many like celebrities around it, do you think those home environments might be better to play in? Not bigger, but better
but better to play in, yeah, but it still
for
doesn't
the home
exclude the
team.
fact that those teams are worse.
I'm not saying they're worse, but I'm saying
No,
for the
that's what I'm saying.
Pacers.
I'm saying historically they are worse
Oh
because
yeah,
they're a small market.
yeah, okay, yeah, we can agree on that. But I'm saying, as of like right now, I think the Pacers' home crowd seems to be more into the game and more into just more invested into what's going on than the Knicks' home crowd. And that's
Well, because
just, and
it's the sad reality of getting outpriced by celebrities, millionaires
exactly.
who live in New York. It's not that the Knicks are less into it
I know,
because
I know, I know.
there's probably I mean there's more Knicks fans than are Pacers fans, and then if you do the math, there's
Oh
probably
yeah,
more Knicks fans who are into the series than Pacers fans. It's just
probably.
that they're getting outpriced, and that Indiana doesn't have multi-millionaires spending, willing to outbid everyone. I mean, they do have some, right? I mean, look at game three. They had like right by, I think, not it wasn't by, it was right by Rick Carlisle. Yeah, it was right by Rick Carlisle. There was an Indy 500 driver just sitting right there, right? And he had his
Yeah.
full gear on and everything. He wasn't wearing the shirt, right? And he could afford that ticket, and that's why he got it. Maybe they got it for free too, but
I
like
will say, I mean,
it's
the
there,
Knicks
there's
give
still
Knicks give out free tickets for celebrities, so it's like, what are we doing here? So, I mean, this all comes down to the organization, though, because they're the ones that determine who set the ticket prices and who gets the free tickets and
exactly
whatnot. So,
the
again,
Knicks are
this
going to
is a
make more
conversation
money.
for another day, but I just wanted to put this out in the air. I thought that was an interesting observation.
I just think it's that. So,
No,
um,
I think it's a mix of like both, though.
yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's move to
So
the West. Um,
now going to the Western Conference, we are through four games right now.
I
Three to
mean,
one.
yeah.
First of all, I think you're probably going to say this series is over. You think it's probably over, done, and dusted? No, you're having
I mean,
doubts.
how many teams have come back from 3-1?
Not many.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think it's over. I think last night was kind of their last chance. Again, I'm not going to say it's impossible because it's not. We've seen it happen, but I mean, we'll talk about the game, but I mean, from what I saw last night, it's over in my opinion. That they just dominated them, and they're going back to OKC.
Hmm.
Let's break into this, right? Since our last episode, they've announced the NFL's MVP. We kind of alluded to it, but Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has won the award. Last night, he had 40, 10, and 9. That's a very good stat line. And they won by two. I think it was Jalen Williams had a good game. Chet Holmgren had a pretty good game behind him. And everyone, at least scoring, I mean. And then everyone else kind of played their role, right? You look at the Timberwolves. Their leading player, Anthony Edwards, had like 16 points, right? Julius Randle had five. You look at their bench players, they a lot of them were in double digits. So yeah, I mean, this is the playoffs. This is the conference finals. At this point, we know both of these teams are good, all around for the most part. So, in order
Hmm.
to win these sort of close games, these close matchups, you got to rely on your star players, your leaders, right? And you look at the Timberwolves, your guys, your star players, we'll say two, with Anthony Edwards and Jalen Julius Randle, they didn't step up in a pivotal game four. And you look at the Thunder, and you can argue that's probably the best game of SGA's playoffs this season. So, yeah, I think that's the difference in the two teams, and I don't see how you could think the Timberwolves are going to come back from this going forward, especially going back to OKC.
I mean, I think there's two interesting things. I think, of course, it's not done and dusted, but it's all but put the rainbow cherry on top of it. But hey, I'm going to stick to my Wolves in seven prediction. I'm going to ride it out because I'm a man of my word. And I'm going to say this is why I think it can happen because of the struggles that I've had with Anthony Edwards. And sometimes he can turn it on in those really tough situations. Now, one thing that does concern me is I don't know how true this is, but I will say this is true. The Wolves had a better free throw percentage, a better shooting percentage, a better 3-point percentage, more rebounds, more assists, and they still lost. And I saw a stat like it was the first time ever in NBA playoff history that's ever happened where the team had all of that and lost. I don't know how true that is. I'm going to say probably maybe not true. But to have all those, it is very rare for you to lose, and they lost, which makes me very concerned, especially the turnovers on this team. So
I
it's
think
just an
it.
issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just also it just comes back to the lackluster star play from
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards. I mean, this is a guy, and we can go into this if you want. I thought he deserved to be on the NBA's all NBA first team. I thought he had a great season. He was the leader on one of the better teams in the Western Conference for most of the year. And he had the stats to back it up. I thought he was well deserving of that spot, but I wouldn't put him there after I saw last night's performance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just not something you can do as the leader of your team, as the Kobe or the MJ or the LeBron of your team, right? I saw something on NBA Twitter. We all know how much you love NBA Twitter, and it was like I don't. It was his stat line. Like I don't want anyone ever comparing this man to Jordan again. And it's like it's quick to take that away after that kind of performance, but it's yeah, I mean that's kind of the standard we were. I don't want to say that I don't want to say that was the definite standard we were kind of holding him to, but it was a pretty high standard we were holding him to, and he didn't live up to it in the most important part of the season. So yeah, maybe they win in OKC. I could see that happening, but I'm gonna stay with Thunder and six.
So we both think the Wolves are going to pick up in 5 then. I mean, we both thought the Wolves were going to win game 1. They lost, so
That's
I doubt
true.
it's going to happen now.
Um,
So
yeah, I mean, I would again. I'm not surprised if it's Thunder and five. I'm gonna stay Thunder and six just to be safe. I would be most surprised, Brooks, is if this series goes to Game Seven.
I'd be surprised if this one even left. If this left Oklahoma City, I won't lie.
I would. A part of me would, but I don't know. I could see the Thunder being like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, probably get the job finished and get some
hmm
extra rest. Not dick around maybe, but I mean the other series might end soon too, so maybe they want to be like, hey, you don't need to play 40 minutes tonight, SGA. You don't need to play 40 minutes tonight, Chet. We'll let some of the bench players roll through a little. It's interesting. I don't know. They have a deep team, so they could probably afford to do that. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna win the series. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I think in order, I mean, the Wolves, remember they had, I mean, Julius Randle was shooting lights out, man, lights out. And now you can't, and now it's like you can't be shooting lights out and you're going to lose the game. I mean, it's like a given. So it's just, I'm a man of my word. I say my predictions and they're back against the wall right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I got to
Anthony
stick with
Edwards
them.
needs to stop talking trash and get back in the lab.
Yeah, stop trying to try to start making shots is what he needs to do. I mean,
Yeah.
geez Louise. So, yeah. Um, But those two are locked into the wire. I think we predicted that Shea would pick up the Western Conference Finals MVP, and right now I'm going to check just to make sure. But I think the Pacers are still favorites to
Yeah,
win the
they
Knicks
are.
series. I think they're about
We'll
so,
see what happens tonight, but yeah, I think they are.
especially because they still have the how do I say this? They still have the advantage. They have home court 2-1. I mean, they're in the driver's seat. All they have to do is win today to push it to 3-1.
Hmm.
So
And then
right
they go
now they're
back to New York,
they're
but they
they're
can get to
minus
come back.
224.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's kind of pushing to be in Oklahoma City is minus 10,000 to move on.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So all I got to say
Yeah.
is the NBA finals are looking set on the West. The East, I'm not going to hand to the Pacers, not even remotely yet until I get all four. Even then, Baron, do you think either the Knicks or the Pacers? I know we will get to it, and a lot of things can change since then. But do you think either team can touch, just even glimpse, just make a star into the Thunder in the
Yeah.
finals to
Yeah.
even push this one to
I'm
6 or 7?
I'm gonna stop discrediting the Pacers. This is a team that's proven that they can play with the best of the best in this league. We've seen them beat the Bucks. They beat the Cavs, and then now they're up right now on the Knicks. All series, which maybe not the Bucks series, but at least against the Cavs and the Knicks, they were not favored to probably go over 5 games. So I'm not going to doubt them anymore. Granted, this is a Thunder team that has been my finals favorite since the season started. I've been saying throughout the season this is the best team in the league.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, the Pacers have the formula, man. They've got a bona fide up and coming star that can do most things offensively that need to get done in Tyrese Halliburton. He can pass, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can score from anywhere on the court efficiently when he wants to. His consistency is another story, but I mean, the front office kind of saw that, went out and addressed it. I mean, I think this Pascal Siakam trade has been just done wonders for them, right? And everyone was sitting there at the time being like, what is this? What are we doing?" I'm I'm here to say, Brooks, this might be a hot take. This might be the best like quiet trade of all time because no one really talks about it, right? Even now, I feel like not a lot of people are
Oh.
really talking about it that much, and in the positive way. Maybe they
Mhm.
are. I'm just not hearing it. But I mean, I think that's one of the better trades we've seen in the last few years, if they go to the finals, that is. But we forget this is the guy who um has been in this kind of role before, right? When he won the finals with Kawhi Leonard's led Raptors, he was sort of that. I don't want to say Robin, but he was kind of the second option for that team, right? And he's doing it just again, just or here again, whenever Tyrese Halliburton's has his inconsistency issues and he's not playing well, he picks up the slack. They have a great rim protector and defender, Miles Turner. They have decent, they have, I won't say decent, they have good 3-point shooting to surround them, and TJ McConnell, Aaron Nesmith, and all of that. And they have good wing and D guys. So they have the championship formula. The basic one I would say is where you just don't need a super team. You just need good players around your stars. And yeah, I mean they're a deep team too, so I think they're well coached. And yeah, I mean I'm not gonna say that they're gonna go in there and upset Thunder or anything, but I could see them winning a game or two in that series. Maybe even go, and again, they could easily win that series. I mean, they've proven time and time again that they can play with the best of them, but I would be surprised if that happens.
I think with the Thunder, man, I just think that, like I said, I got Wolves in 7. I just stick to my prediction. And the reason I want to stick to Wolves just because of the energy and my word and all that. I just want to ride it. But I mean, if the Thunder make the finals, I mean, I'm telling you, I said this when the series started of why the Thunder would probably win it, which is not a
Hmm.
full prediction, but the Dorcher Chamber, man, he
Yeah.
is some one heck of a defender, man. He's a good, and they have great team defense. I mean, all stars like even Chet, like you said, he's not his best on ball defender, but he had a great moment last night when he got spun by McDaniels and he still swatted it off the glass with 30 seconds left to keep it, to get the Thunder by the ball. I think that was a 3-point game when he did that, which would have changed the landscape completely if he makes that layup. So even then, they're their best defenders. They still have good defenders all over that team. Jalen Williams is not a scrub of defender. Chet is not a scrub of a defender.
Not at
Hartenstein
all.
in there is great on the defensive glass and great with length. I mean, you have Halliburton, right? You just throw the Dorcher chamber on him. You have Siakam, right? You can put a J Will on him, which will probably be a tough matchup for J Will. But again, you have these guys who can
And yeah,
defend and
yeah,
you have length all over. I mean, Caruso is even off the bench and he's a good defender.
yeah.
So you have all these options to defend. I like I mean, they're easily the finals favorites. We
Yeah.
talked a little bit before about how they should treat their core and what they should do for the future because of all their draft picks if they want to go out and get someone big. But if
Hmm.
it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're
So,
easily the finals favorites for all the reasons you just explained. They're one of the best teams offensively and defensively. They have all the right pieces in the right spots, and yeah, they have the NF or NBA MVP. So
mhm.
that'd be my pick.
So we I'm gonna stick with my Wolves prediction. I'm still gonna stick with the Knicks to win the series, which I think is a pretty big take, specifically what's happened in the last 3 games. But
Hmm.
hey, they did come back game 3, but they're the ones who choked in game 1. So and they kept it close game 2. It's been a lot of good games in that Knicks series, man. All 3 games have been absolute bangers. So
Hmm. All right. Yeah. All right. I think the best way to end this is off is let's get our predictions for tonight's game. Because I bet most
yes.
people will hear this after it. So we'll see who's right.
Oh,
Who are you going with? Or
I'm
how
gonna
about
take
this? How about this? Don't say anything yet. I'll count down from three and we'll both say it.
who. What are we saying? Who we thinks wins?
Yeah, who do you think's gonna win
Sure.
tonight? All
Go
right.
ahead.
3, 2, 1,
Knicks.
Pacers.
All
All right.
right. All right. So we'll split here. I think it's gonna be Knicks, and I think it's going to be a big Carl Anthony Towns game again. I think Cat is really going to show up again in this one. But if it's not Cat, then it's gonna be either Jalen Brunson or Cat. It really steps up. I think it's gonna be Cat. He's riding the hot hand. He's coming off that momentum. He's really these playoffs been playing at some good and high level, like up and down. But he's on the high right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ride the Cat to have a big game. I'm gonna ride the New York Knicks coming out of Indiana, going back to New York 2-2, and to be 4 away winners and 0 home wins this series.
I think we're gonna see Tyrese Halliburton's best game of the series. And he's gonna be 30 plus, probably over 10 assists. Like he's gonna be on one tonight in front of the home crowd. He had a kind of, I mean, he did decent last game, but I feel like this time the crowd's gonna be into it, like we talked about. And he's gonna be feeling it. I think he's gonna have a big game, And if it's going to be the Knicks, I think it's going to be the other guard. I think you're going to see Jalen Brunson have a big game. But I'm going to take Halliburton and the Pacers. They're going to go up 3-1 to go back to Madison Square Garden and really put the Knicks in a bad situation.
There we go. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up?
I think I'm good.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. One thing I want to say before we wrap this up is thank you for everyone who's listening so far, especially on the clips as well. And of course, get your comments below about what you want to hear and see. So that's another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank y'all for listening to this one. Knicks or Pacers tonight. We're going to find out who takes either a strong grip on it or right back to 2-2. And peace.